All right, we here another delicious fight card, and I mean this card was great. I'd say apart from the main event, I mean the main event was good too, which is it just had a really weird ending. But apart from that, the main card was great, and so was the prelim card. There were some fights on there that were a bit iffy, but I think overall this was a very solid card, very solid fight night. There were some really good finishes, and when I mean finishes, I mean like literally every prelim had finishes, which was crazy. We saw Gene Silva pretty much style on a guy that was pretty much a big step up in competition. I think that solidified himself as a dangerous contender. And we saw Anthony Hernandez prove once again why this guy is the real deal. I mean, and then we saw Song Yadong and Cejudo, they had a very good back and forth. I honestly was surprised by how well Cejudo was doing against Song Yadong. I mean, I said before that I felt like Song Yadong was going to be just the faster guy. He was going to be the rangier guy. He was going to pick off Cejudo and get himself a TKO. But honestly, the way this ended, I just can never see that. That was never in my bingo card for sure. But let's start off with the prelims. So the Bukauskas KO was pretty nice. I didn't pick. I think I did pick Bukauskas. Did I? Or did I even pick this fight? I don't think I did, but no, I don't think I picked this fight. But yeah, Bukauskas and Ruzabov had both early knockouts. I didn't watch these fights because I was busy with something else. I think I was I don't know, I was at some event and I couldn't see these fights, and that sucks because I really wanted to see these fights. Or I think no, I was watching the Bivol fight. The Bivol Berteviev rematch, which honestly was pretty good. I scored it for Bivol winning that. And a lot of people were saying it's a robbery. I don't think it was. I thought it was very insanely close. Honestly, in my opinion, if it was a draw, I wouldn't have minded that either. But I had it 115, 113 Bivol. I mean, I think that was the perfect score. I don't know, 116, 112, Bivol was a bit sus. I didn't think he was that ahead. But 115, 113 was definitely what I got, and I think a lot of other people got that. Some people got draws, and I felt like there were really. I don't think it was a draw, but it was definitely really close, so I wouldn't be surprised. But let's go from that. I mean, apart from that, both of these fights were good. We saw Vanderford pretty much deliver a good performance against Varentonikov, and I mean, Paige Van Zandt's husband's a very big deal. I mean, he had an impressive knock TKO. There's the whole business about Nikolay pretty much pushing the other guy, causing a bit of ruckus. I don't know if he'll be cut, but he probably will be. And then we saw Ricky Simon pretty much delivered the most brutal knockout as an underdog. I mean, I picked Basharat to win this fight, but I mean, Ricky Simon surprised me. When I was watching this fight, I was just like, I mean, Basharat just got caught. He's got caught with a real good right hand, and that's what she told. That's what she wrote. So yeah, brutal knockout. Kind of reminded me of the Usman Masvidal knockout. And overall, this was a very good performance by Ricky Simon. Delivered a stable knockout. This definitely did deserve performance of the night, though. So, yeah. Next, we got Mansour Abdur Malik and Nick Klein. Klein was doing good. He rocked Malik, but Malik was able to get the TKO. And I think Malik's definitely going up there in the middleweight division. I mean, I wouldn't say middleweight's super stacked, but there are some good contenders. I'm interested to see how this guy's going to fight against maybe more tough opponents. I mean, Klein was a good opponent, but I mean, minus 1350, I just think that a step up in competition is needed. Just because I feel like he has a lot of potential. Next, we got an upset to submission. Costa against Fili. Now, oh man, I don't really know how I feel about this. When I saw it, I didn't think that Fili would just get tapped like that from that guillotine. The guillotine was definitely in. It's just that I was surprised, He had some time. He had some time to get out of that guillotine. I don't know. I think he just made a mistake and wasn't able to get out. It was crushing his it was getting to him. So that happens. You know, some people just make mistakes and they just don't get what they want. I don't know why people were hating on Feely, calling him dumb for that. It's like if you taken BJJ, it's like you shouldn't be judging him by that because people get caught in submissions all the time. When you get caught in a submission like that, like it's just a few seconds that you have to do just to get out of that. And frankly, he just got caught and it was unlucky. I don't know why he decided to take this to the ground, but on the feet, Feely was doing really good. And, you know, it's just one of those things where you think Feely's going to make a good run, and then he doesn't, and he just loses. So, yeah. Next, we got Q Talaba versus Aslan. Definitely, it wasn't that big of an upset. I picked Q Talaba to win. I think did I pick Q Talaba or Aslan? I think I picked Q Talaba, but I think I gave it to Aslan just because I felt like Aslan might have showed a new level, but he clearly didn't because round one submission, Q Talaba, he still got it. Unk still got it. He's not really an Unk, but you know what I'm saying. Next, we go to the main card. Wow, this got fighted tonight. I don't know how. I do not know how this got fighted tonight. I mean, I'm not saying it was a bad fight. It's just that both of these guys just had really bad performances. Like, this being a ranked fight is just... And the fact this was a split decision, too, which was crazy. I mean, I thought Manyfield definitely won that. And for it to be a split decision, it's weird. But, I mean, I thought Manyfield was landing the better shots. I thought he was defending the takedowns. He was doing pretty well in the clinch and leaving the clinch. I mean, Julius Rocker was coming here on short notice. Alonzo Manyfield had to move his fight to a month earlier, so I doubt he got much training either. I don't know. These guys just did not perform well. And in my opinion, I definitely thought Manyfield won rounds 2 and 3. But I'd say, like, this being Friday night was definitely robbery, especially when we go to the next fights. So, next, we got Gene Silva versus Bakdashian, and Gene Silva proved himself. I mean, I don't know. There were a lot of people saying, not a lot of people, but there were some people saying that this Gene Silva could get fraud checked here because of how good Melsick is. And Melsick is definitely a good striker, but I was thinking this fight would be a lot closer and a lot more competitive. It was definitely a bit competitive, but Gene Silva was able to get that knockout in round 1. I mean, and he made that little moment with the referee where he was trying to get him, whether he thought the referee was going to stop it, he didn't, so he just kept battering him. That was a funny moment. And you got performance of the night, very well deserved. So, yeah, Gene Silva's the real deal, man. I'm telling you, like, these fighting Nuggets guys, like, they're the real deal. I mean, I think they're shaping up to be one of the best gyms. I feel like they would surpass if once, I guess, like, Cal and Protest are definitely capable of being champions maybe this year or the next year. But, I mean, every single person from their gyms is doing pretty well. Like, we got Ruffy. He's going against Bobby Green, which I think is a good matchup for him. Got Gene Silva pretty much TKOing people left and right. We got Cause Protest steamrolling people, just knocking people out like it's nothing. And then we got Cal pretty much already a top 10 and a potential title contender soon. So, for sure, I mean, it's the real shit, man. It's the real deal. Fighting Nerds, I feel like Fighting Nerds would definitely just, I wouldn't say they surpassed them yet, but they would definitely surpass the Dagestanis in terms of, like, the team success. Next, we got what I thought should have been fight of the night, which was Rob Font versus Gene Matsumoto. Both of these guys did really well. Rob Font did really well, and Gene did a lot better than I thought he would have done. I picked Rob to win this fight. I mean, Rob is still pretty good. Is that when it comes to the top tier competition, who's more well-rounded, he doesn't falter. But when it comes to prospects, he does really well. And after the performances he had against Phillips and Yanez, I was just thinking like, hey, he's the real. He still got it, you know. And this fight was really close. Gene did really well in this fight. I thought the fight was going to Rob. I had Rob winning rounds 1 and 3, but I wouldn't be surprised if people thought Gene won that. But in my opinion, I thought Rob won this, and for him to get the decision, it sucks that Gene's not undefeated anymore. But I feel like Gene put a good performance, and I feel like Gene could definitely. I think Gene definitely deserves a top 15 opponent. I think like he's definitely proven himself. He's definitely a dangerous guy. So yeah, I'd say this deserved to be fight of the night, not the Manyfield fight. This deserved to be fight of the night. And next we got the co-main event. We got Anthony Hernandez versus Brandon Allen. This was a good fight. Brandon Allen did really well in round one. He was able to, he kind of stole the round because he was landing more damage. But I don't know what it is about Hernandez, but his pressure, his cardio, it just makes everyone feel weak. And I feel like I saw this happen in their last fight, and I was thinking Brendan Allen's going to deliver a better performance, and he did definitely do better in round one. But in rounds 2 and 3, it was just, Anthony Hernandez was controlling him. Allen wasn't really trying to get up and trying to get control. He was really more just like going off his back or kind of letting him get control to chase submissions, which, I mean, round 1, he was definitely close to getting some. He was close to getting a rear naked choke. He was close to getting a bunch of other chokes, but, I mean, the fact that he didn't keep this on the feet and kept this a striking fight was definitely a fumble on his part. I feel like Brendan Allen could have definitely won this fight, just because Brendan Allen's really good. He has the skills to beat people like Hernandez, but I don't know. He just doesn't utilize them. I felt like if Allen decided to keep striking with Imavov in round 3, he would have definitely won that fight. And he just makes dumb decisions all the time, and as a result, he just fumbles these wins that he definitely was capable of winning these matchups. But Hernandez, I'm not taking away from Hernandez at all because he still did really well. On the striking front, I felt like Allen definitely did have the advantage, but on the ground, Hernandez was just controlling. He was not letting Allen get up, and Allen just kind of gave up in round 3, kind of just let himself get controlled. And I mean, Hernandez's pressure for a 3-round fight, Hernandez isn't that dangerous, but for a 5-round fight, which I would love to see him get more 5-round fights, he's definitely the real deal. I mean, he's hard to finish, and based on his performances and based on the people he's fighting, he's definitely deserves to be a top 10 contender. If I were to give him an opponent, I'd say probably like a Robert Whittaker or an Izzy. I'd say like that'd be a huge step up in competition though. But I think with his wrestling background and his cardio and his like perseverance and toughness, I feel like he could definitely win those type of matchups, especially considering that Izzy doesn't really have that much of a wrestling background. Next, we got the main event. We got Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. This was a fight. I mean, people were saying Song Yadong was destroying Cejudo, but I really don't see it that way. I thought Cejudo was winning round 3 before that eye poke, and it sucks that he got eye poked because he was winning that round. He was turning the tide towards his favor, and if this went 5 rounds, we could have seen a different winner. Henry Cejudo's a tough guy. For him to be 38 taking those shots against Song and still pushing the pace and he also cut Song Yadong and made his nose bloody against all that stuff. Like, he was landing some damaging hits, and he was very fast, and his explosiveness, it didn't look like it was going away for a while. But the eye poke kind of did disrupt things and turn into Song's favor. If Cejudo decided to just stop fighting when he was in the timeout, it would have been a no contest, and we could have seen a rematch. But he decided to keep going to the 4th round. He decided to keep fighting, but the ref decided to call his scorecards after starting round 4. But in my opinion, this fight was actually a lot closer than a lot of people think. And I don't know why Cejudo's getting the hate. This man literally had an abrasion in his eye. Bro, getting eye poked like that, like, it hurts. It hurts, and a lot of these guys, they never fought before. These fans, they never fought. They never been in a ring. They never got hurt. They never got punched in the face, not even touched in the face. And they're talking about Henry Cejudo's a pussy. They're talking about Henry Cejudo's a coward, a bitch. And it's like, dude, you're a fat motherfucker who sits on his couch watching these UFC fights. You don't know how these UFC fights go. They go there and do something that 99% of people can't or are not willing to do. And they do that as a job. They do that they do that multiple times a year. So to judge Henry Cejudo for literally getting viciously poked in the eye like that, his eye was bleeding. He couldn't even see out of his left eye. I mean, to say that he should have continued that fight, it's like it's a fight. He's not fighting for the death, you know. Maybe there's some people like Tony Ferguson, but you know how those people ended up. You know, Cejudo's being smart. Age is not in his favor, and if he just kept fighting with that eye, he would have lost. So I don't think Henry Cejudo tried to get this to the scorecards. I think the ref just kind of went behind his back and just did that anyways. But yeah, Song Yadong won. Honestly, this should have been a draw. And I don't think that Song Yadong deserved to win this. This fight was pretty close. And for the amount of fouls Song Yadong was doing against Cejudo, with the cup kick, with the eye poke, like that eye poke destroyed Cejudo. Like that like turned the tide of the fight. Because Cejudo was doing good, and then after that, Cejudo was just not able to perform the same way. That warranted a point deduction. I mean, I don't know why the ref didn't give him the point deduction, but because of that, I just don't think this decision was legitimate. I would like to see them rematch, but I get it, you know. Maybe Dana White doesn't want to see that. He maybe wants to see new fights. He doesn't want to see Cejudo and Yadong go for a rematch again and waste another main event. So, I mean, for what's next for Cejudo, I don't really know. I don't think he should be punished for this fight. But, in my opinion, I think Cejudo versus Bautista is in order. I mean, Cejudo's number 8, Bautista's number 10. And I just think that fight makes sense now. And I feel like Cejudo would destroy Bautista. So I love to see that. I love to see Cejudo redeem himself and beat Bautista, kind of gain some favor towards himself. For Song Yadong, run that Umar Nurmagomedov fight. Umar needs to fight down. I said this before in my UFC 311 reaction that Umar should fight the winner of Cejudo versus Song Yadong, and since Song Yadong won, I think he should fight Umar. I think Umar's number 3. Song Yadong had a good win against Cejudo. Cejudo was doing good, but Song Yadong was winning. But yeah, I think Umar needs to fight down. Song Yadong needs to fight up. And I think this is the perfect fight to make. Umar versus Yadong. This is such a good matchup. I mean, I don't think Umar's going to beat this guy super easy, you know? I think Song Yadong is definitely going to give him a lot of trouble. Umar's striking is pretty good, but Song Yadong striking, he's a lot faster. He has power, and frankly, these guys are pretty evenly matched. I think Umar's definitely... This is a good bounce-back fight for Umar, and I see this being a good way of Song Yadong maybe getting himself eligible for the title shot, because I've been saying this for a long time. Song Yadong has a lot of potential. He just had some curveballs thrown in his way, and I thought he did pretty good against Petr Yan. So I think we should give him Umar, while Peter Yan and Sean O'Malley maybe fight for the title, and the winner of that maybe gets the next title shot. I'd be interested to see Song Yadong fight for the title, and if not, if Umar wins, who knows? We could see Umar rematch for the title. I don't think it's going to be any different than the last time, but who knows? Maybe Merab will already be gone from the division the moment when Umar gets the title shot. For Brendan Allen, it's tough. I'd say give Brendan Allen Roman Kopylov. I mean, Roman Kopylov had a very good performance against Chris Curtis. He knocked him out. Well, I wouldn't say it was really a legitimate TKO, but he still wobbled him. And Roman Kopylov did really well against Chris Curtis. And Chris Curtis was someone who won against Allen. And then Allen barely won a split decision against him, which honestly could have gone either way. But I think that would be the perfect setup. You know, Kopylov, he beat Chris Curtis. Allen, he had a close fight with Chris Curtis. Perfect matchup. And since Kopylov, you know, he can get a top 10 opponent. And I think it'll be a good fight. And it'd be a good bounce back fight for Allen too. You know, Kopylov definitely does have that ground weakness that we saw against Hernandez, and I think Brendan Allen's still very good on the striking. He's a very well-rounded guy. I think Roman Kopylov would be a good match, good fight to bounce back from, and it'd also be a good opportunity for Kopylov to kind of cement himself as a legitimate contender. For Anthony Hernandez, like I said before, I'd say give him a Robert Izzy. I wouldn't give him Cal because I think Cal and Imavov should fight. But I say Hernandez, give him Rob or give him Izzy. Both those guys, they're on losing streaks right now. They're kind of like the old guard, you know, the people who used to be at the top. And I feel like these would be good names to have on Hernandez's resume. I feel like Hernandez, with these names, he could definitely make a case for a title eliminator. So, yeah, I'd say that. And I think this is a favorable matchup for Hernandez. I wouldn't say Robert Whitaker is a favorable matchup because Robert Whitaker does have good grappling and cardio, and he's a good striker. You know, and he's a very smart fighter as well, and so is Izzy. But I feel like this step up in competition is good for Hernandez because it improves himself. You know, I felt like after his performance of Allen, he definitely is still getting better. So we'll see. Will Hernandez improve his striking? I love to see him go against Izzy. Izzy still wants to fight the contenders. I feel like this would be a good fight for Izzy. So run this. This could be like a main event of a fight night. I wouldn't say Apex, but have it be like some Saudi. I wouldn't say Saudi, but like a good fight night card that gives Izzy a lot of money. Because I don't think he should be. I don't think Izzy's an Apex fighter. He's not. So Izzy versus Hernandez, run that shit, and I'm good with that. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Cejudo versus Song, good fight card. Main event ended a bit iffy, but overall the main event was still good. Co-main was really good. A lot of the fights, I would say the worst one was the Manyfield fight, but all the fights in this card were really good. We had a bunch of finishes in this card, so it's very solid. I think this card definitely exceeded expectations, and it definitely made up for all the fight cancellations that we had. So, anyways, that'll be all. Bye.